Hey guys, what's going on? So we got another awesome interview lined up today. Well, not an interview, a case study with Jonny Bradley. And some of you may know him. He's basically in the Amazon niche. He teaches people how to start FBA businesses and scale them. And he's really big, especially in the United Kingdom, where he's like the #1 guy. So basically, Jonny reached out to me a few months ago. He's like, basically we have a bunch of mutual friends, and he asked me if I'd be able to kind of coach him on the YouTube ads that he's doing. And I decided to turn this whole case study into something for my course. So we have basically 4 hours of recorded video that we put into my course of turning his account around from spending less than £50 a day, losing money on that low ad spend. And then I think last month it was around £8,000 with over a 2x return. And this month you've reduced the budget a little bit, but you actually spent £2,200 for eight sales. Yeah, so eight, actually, let me take a look, 11 sales. So you spent 2,200 for 11 sales, which comes out to around a 5x return, which is absolutely insane, like 45x return. After, basically a couple months ago, you were losing money on way lower ad spend, and right now you're at £100 a day, and we're pretty much ready to start scaling these ads. So we're going to keep adding more videos to the case study, which is part of my course. But I wanted this to be a public video where we cover the high level of what we did, and then the course, if you're interested, we go into the nitty gritty. We show you everything. We show you like pretty much everything without any blurring of the screen, so you can literally just take it and run, because it's just really, really powerful information inside on how we turn this ad account around. So Jonny, where were we at before we started kind of working together and I started helping you?
I was in pain, mate. So a lot of people probably watching this will appreciate where I was trying to learn how to do ads properly, hiring people and just getting it wrong, right? And just not understanding or getting the full picture. So I was trying to spend money just to like do whatever, but I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. But now I'm not an expert by no means, but I'm certainly more informed of how to actually make profitable ads and how to identify non-profitable ones as well. Yeah, better than I did before. But yeah, before it was bad.
Yeah, exactly. And the most important thing is right now you're making a pretty significant profit. And this is pretty much, I was just giving you like piece of advice, but you implemented it. And that's why you're in this position where you're doing really, really well with your YouTube ads. So guys, to just give you an idea of what we covered, the first thing we did on the first call is we basically took a look at your organization of your account. So this is really, really big. What this means is, how are your campaigns named? How are your ad groups and campaigns structured? And this is important because if you don't have this down, you don't know what campaign is which, right? You don't know which targeting you're using. You don't know what's going on. When you look at the data, you're a little confused because everything's kind of jumbled together. So the first thing we did is we implemented a new naming structure that made it really clear at one glance on the account level which campaign is which. And then we implemented a pretty simple structure where we have one ad group per campaign. We don't usually do this for bigger accounts, but because we were starting out with a smaller account, we basically did that structure where most of the campaigns just have one ad group, which allowed us to very easily just see what's happening. And this is really great if you're starting out. If you're running a bigger account, we do a more complex structure where we'll have campaigns with multiple ad groups and so on. And then it gets pretty messy because, bigger campaigns, we're spending like 100, 150K a month, and we need to organize that in a different way as opposed to an account which is smaller and we just want to keep things simple. So number one is we basically reorganized the way the account was structured, the naming convention, and that really helped because now you're able to actually understand what's going on and see the data. So that was one thing. What were some other things you took away from that first call we did?
I think that's a big point, and it sounds like you just got to name the ad sets and the campaign something different. It's not as simple as that, if that makes sense. Because I was naming, I knew what the ads were, but you made a really good point where if someone else was to look at your account, they need to know exactly what is what, right? At a glance. So even though you say like naming structures, I think a lot of people think, oh yeah, you know, naming structures, I'm fine with that. But honestly, you're not. You need, like, there's a very specific method to do it, or way to do it. So that, like Sash said, it's very, very clear. So when you're going through it each day or each week, there's no messing around being like, oh, which ad am I choosing or whatever. You can easily go through and you can make changes. That's like a really underestimated thing. So yeah, that was a big one. I think, I'm not sure if we went through much else then. I'm not sure if we went through campaign types or anything like that. I can't remember if it was that or the second week that we did that. But I know that was a big thing for me when we looked at the different types of campaigns and why you use them and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I can actually, I want to show the guys like actual proof that we did this, because I know some people will be like, hey, is there any actual proof? Yeah. So this is actually for, and you know, there is going to be blurred stuff in here because of the fact that this is a public video. If you want the unblurred, it's like everything revealed and by the course. But we are looking at, so this is all conversion, including view through. So we're looking at a total of 11 purchases on the course for this month, June 1st to 14th, and that's on 2,200 pounds of ad spend. And how much is the course, by the way?
£997.
So we're talking about 11,000 in revenue that either were directly or indirectly came from YouTube ads on pretty much this much spend. That's like 5x return. So just wanted to show you guys that we're actually, you know, talking about something real here. Yeah, and actually, if I also recall this, the first call, we also went through your tracking situation. We found some issues in your tracking.
Yes,
where,
you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Basically, one of the purchase conversions was set up so that it would, it would fire every time somebody was on that page. So if somebody would land on that page and then refresh a couple of times, or they end up going back to that page, it would count it as a few different sales. Now what we did is we changed that, the way that conversion works, to firing basically just once per unique cookie per unique user, which makes it easier to track conversions more accurately. So now the tracking is clearer. So that's always important, just making sure tracking is kind of set up cleanly and in a smart manner. And oh yeah, the other big thing we did, and this might have been actually the first day as well, is we added exclusions to prevent your video from showing up on really low quality videos.
Yes, absolutely. So what I ended up doing with that, because I think it could take, I haven't got the time to do it. So I just hired someone off Upwork, super cheap, paid them like $5 an hour, and they just went through it and they took all the, like, the kids' TV programs and like all the rubbish that these ads were showing on, literally just throwing money away, like completely throwing it away and burning it. So we excluded all of those, and then I have that person doing it weekly now. So they just spend like a couple of hours doing it every week, going through the whole campaign, or all of the campaigns rather.
And yeah, just doing that, like I think it basically reduced your cost per lead by like 2x or 3x. It was insane how making that was just a huge change, and it was just a very simple thing that, you know, it's very, like in my course I go in detail on how to do it, but it's just like one of those simple things. And in fact, in my course we're gonna upload our complete exclusion list of like 1,500 channels or 1,300 channels that our VAs have compiled over like years of running ads. So you guys can just plug that into your account. So I'll have that in the course as well. That's a good reminder for me to
have mine as well if you want, Sash. I can send you mine as well. It always helps.
Perfect. Yeah, the more we have, the better. So that was another thing. We also started cutting out losing creatives. I mean, this sounds simple, but we basically, what we did is we went into the different, we went into the video section of Google Ads to look at how different creatives are doing. And then we would use filters to be like, okay, this creative in all the campaigns combined is getting X cost per lead. This creative is getting X cost per lead. And we just started cutting out the losers. And I think it was funny because one of the creatives was like, you actually really liked it, but it wasn't performing well.
Oh yeah, that's the ads that I love the most are the ones that are the worst performing. Yeah, and I think that's what you, as when you're starting doing ads, what I thought is that you could just like do a really good ad and then you could just make it work. Whereas in fact, you just need to keep recording ads and just keep doing, because you never know what's going to work. And I think that's something you taught me. There's a few things you taught me about ads in terms of the creative side of things. Is one, just make more ads so that you can test them and actually test them. And the other was calling out the audience, which I wasn't doing when we first started.
Yeah, calling out the audience is huge. So it's like basically example of this is like if you're targeting videos on, let's say, how to invest, then a good way to start the ad might be like, hey, are you trying to save more money? Or no, sorry, are you trying to invest money in a smarter way that doesn't lead you to lose money? Or something of that nature, where you're basically calling out that particular audience because they're watching that type of ad. So that number one, you're just getting the people who are interested, and number two, it's just a great way to just grab attention and like just be like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and those ads are working way better than the other ones. I have one which is quite funny. People keep commenting on it because it displays on my own video, where I say, you don't need to watch the video you're about to watch, and they're like, Johnny, you're telling us not to watch your own videos. I'm like,
oh yeah, and I think that was actually one of the things I suggested is to target your own channel.
Yes, because I was getting basically hijacked by all my competitors. So
exactly.
targeting your own channel. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to target your own channel. That's like a little hack if you have a YouTube channel, and you got to have that. It's like kind of like Google search, where you have branded search, where if people search for your brand, they don't want to find your competitor, right? Like I had a client that had one of their affiliates hijacking their branded search, and I'm pretty sure they lost out on like $50,000 or $30,000 in affiliate commissions just because of that. So yeah, guys, protect your channel equity. Don't let other people run ads on it. Just have a campaign that targets those videos with CPV bidding, and it has a very high bid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I think to touch up on a few other things we did demographic exclusion. So we just stopped targeting demographics that were expensive. So that
was huge. We saved a huge amount of money on that. I think it was like, I can't remember. It was one. No, there was basically exclusions for most of the world, which obviously saved a lot. But I was spending a lot of money in the US and making absolutely zero from it. So I know we took that out and literally saved myself $2,000 a month. Basically.
Yeah. I think it was just literally like it was resulting in the campaigns being unprofitable because you're spending thousands of dollars in the US and there weren't any sales coming in.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, it was just like you had a really good demographic that was working. So we just decided to double down on the demographics that are working.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. And I wouldn't have known how to do that because I can't remember which video it is in. You're probably about to tell me where we went through, I think maybe the reports of Google, which I didn't even know existed in terms of the way you can drag and drop all the different bits into pieces so you can analyze two bits of data side by side. I literally did not know that existed before. And that was really, really influential. Just being able to understand your data was really, 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 really eye-opening.
Yeah, and it's actually huge that Google Ads report section can give you a golden trough. And like, in the actual kind of case study videos inside the course, we just like go really in deep into it and the various levers you can pull to start making your ads more profitable.
Yeah, totally. I love that.
And another thing we did is, I believe you're running a bunch of custom intent audiences right now. And we kind of, shows you how to do that. And that's working out pretty well. Those campaigns, from what I've seen, have been performing quite well.
And just for those sort of people who don't understand what that is, my understanding, again, I may be wrong, but I'm targeting like websites, people, what they search on Google, like rather than on YouTube, like competitors' websites, landing pages, even the tools that people would use to do what I do. Then I can target all those websites, which I didn't know you could do on YouTube. So that's a whole audience of people that I just did not know existed.
Exactly. So custom intent is basically people who are searching on Google for tools for, Amazon FBA related resources or anything, that's in your niche. And then you target them on YouTube. So Google's taking the data from Google search, and then you can use that in YouTube. And custom intent is an awesome way to scale because keywords and placements, they have a certain cap. And then custom intent, you can just use that to scale it. So yeah, I mean, like that by itself is just a huge thing. I think like pretty much that covers a lot of the ad optimizations. Honestly, we have like 4 hours of the videos, and we're going to do more videos about the scaling process. But I think the other big part which really made this work is the fact that you really hustled on funnel optimization.
Yeah, you gave me some feedback near the beginning. So when you looked at my conversion rates and stuff like that, and you said, look, you want to get that percentage up. I can't remember exactly what you said, but you need to get it to here. So that means that we can spend this much and make profitably this much. So I put a huge amount of work into basically redoing my webinar. My offer became better. My unique mechanism became better. My funnel became better. My landing page, my automation, my sales team. I worked on everything I possibly can. Anything that I had control of, I was trying to work on making it better so we can obviously make as much use of this ad spend as possible. And that's, I think we've culminated in probably the last week or so where everything's pretty much where it needs to be so that we can start spending and we can actually start scaling and knowing that not only it's being spent in the right place because the ad account is set up now, it's really ready to go, and we've proven it is, but also the funnel, the back end, all the automation, the emails, the people on the phone, that's all set up so that we can deliver more leads that we can actually make sure that they're being made the most of, which is something I was not doing before.
Yeah, this is such a huge thing. Like everybody's like, yeah, the ads, but it's like, I think it's like a 3-part kind of thing, right? There's like the ads, there's your offer, and then there's a funnel. And if you have really great ads, but the other 2 aren't good, then you're in trouble. So if you're like an internet marketer, what you have to do is always be optimizing all 3. And that's a huge part to success, especially in the info product space. It's just one of those things where it's like, man, you just got to sit down and put in the work of making sure your funnel is better than your competitors. Because if you can spend $10 to acquire a lead and they can spend only 5, you're gonna just demolish them in terms of being able to take over the market. I think Joel Marion, he really said it really well. It's like, it comes down to who can spend more, right? They win because they can just go and dominate the market and have way more scale, because at scale, you're not gonna get cheap leads. Like, it's easy to get cheap leads at $100 a day ad spend, but as you try to go to $1,000 a day or $2,000, $3,000 a day, you cannot rely on scale to you cannot rely on cheap leads. You need to rely on having a really great funnel to convert leads so you can spend more than your competitors. And that's how you really scale an offer to the point where you're just making 8 figures and so on. So
I still think I've still, there's one of your recommendations that you said is build out a high ticket offer. And that's still something I'm working on in terms of kind of trying to figure out how I can, again, stand out, be a bit different, but also offer something high ticket, but also I want to do something very low ticket as well.
mm-hmm.
So I can have, because I'm right in the middle, right? I've got the 997 course. So I want to be able to get people in at a low end, initial front end offer, and obviously be able to upsell to something higher. So again, we can liquidate more of that ad spend going forward, and literally what you said, be able to spend more to acquire a customer. So there's still work in progress, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And as things, like, I'm really excited to see how things go. And I mean, yeah, we're going to shoot more videos. We're going to keep trying to scale these ads up and try to scale this up. Like, this is a really fun project that, we're really enjoying. And this is great for anybody who, wants to be part of the course, because we just like show everything. So yeah, do you have any parting words, any other things that we missed upon?
Possibly. Like, for me, it's been a huge learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even just the videos that we recorded, just of you literally just going through my ad account and just analyzing it and stuff like that, I think that alone, obviously that's what I've had, right? That's what we've been doing. That alone is worth a lot to me. Do you know what I mean? So if someone could, this is a hard thing for me, right? When I was looking previously to this, and this is the original reason why I reached out to you, is finding someone that teaches this sort of stuff, but also does it like yourself, but really knows what they're doing. It's very, very few and far between, which is why I wanted to work with you. And I think even in those like 4 hours or 5 hours, however many sessions we've done, it's been worth so much in terms of value to me. I think the actual training, the actual course itself, where it goes through in depth with it, is just going to be like mental, crazy value. So yeah, I know a lot of people, myself, like all my friends are in this space. I've said to them about this case study, they're like, yeah, okay, we're going to get involved. We're going to buy the course, because it's a pain point for so many people. I know a lot of people watching. Again, they want more people to see their product because it's good, but just don't know how to do it well. So yeah, it was really, really, really great for me in terms of like, having this case study.
Exactly. And the cool thing is we have basically the course is ready. The module 1 of the course, which is if you buy module 1 now, which includes this case study, which is like 5 hours of super in-depth content, as well as everything that's needed to run YouTube ads well. So there's like 15 videos where I break down every aspect of running YouTube advertising. Yeah, that's ready and it's live. And I'm gonna add more advanced stuff, but then when I add more advanced stuff to the course, it's just the price is just gonna keep going up. So yeah, if you guys are interested, I'll drop a link below in the description, the comment section. And you know what, like this is gonna keep going. Like we're gonna keep doing this case study. We're gonna keep adding more cool stuff to it. So we're super excited to see where this goes and just take things to the next level, right? Like I think this is very rare because people have a lot of like courses where they, teach you a lot of stuff, but nobody goes into an in-depth case study. I don't think there's a single YouTube advertising case study like this where we literally go from a campaign just being unprofitable to being like, okay, now we're making a 5x return in a very competitive space. So this is golden if you guys want to learn about YouTube ads.
Honestly, like the case study alone, if you were to, because I have a guy that like works for me within ads, and I literally got him around and I sat him at my computer and I said, watch these videos. And like, if you need to go through it multiple times, and then I said, like, you need to go and learn this stuff. Those videos alone are extremely valuable. Like you could enroll just for those videos, and then you would be able to do exactly the same process as me, go from an unprofitable campaign or unprofitable ad account to a profitable one. Like basically everyone saw everything. So that you can literally go through and do it and just watch those few videos. And then on top of that, you get all the actual in-depth, okay, actually, click here, this is actually, how you do this is how you do that. Extremely, extremely valuable. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, we'll make another video when we scale it to 100 grand a month revenue. All right. Cool. Yeah, guys, have a great rest of the day. And yeah, thanks, Jonny, for, doing the case study as well as doing this call with me. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Our feet on the ground, and we will talk with our head in the clouds, and we will walk with our feet on the ground, and we will talk.